wood under your boot bends. Not creaks, not groans. Bends. The way a branch bends before it snaps in half. Below you, 80 feet of empty air separates your body from a river that has already taken 5 lives this decade. Your hands grip a cable that vibrates like a guitar string in the wind. And this is not even the most dangerous trail on this list. Across 6 continents, paths carved into cliffs, punched through jungles, and scratched across volcanoes are killing experienced hikers every single year. These are the trails where one wrong step is measured in thousands of feet of falling. Ongatete Forest Track, New Zealand. 5 hikers have died on this trail in the past 10 years, and most of them checked the weather before they left. The Ongatete Forest Track crosses 20 suspension bridges strung over deep gorges in New Zealand's western ranges. The bridges swing and twist in the wind. Some have rotting planks with gaps wide enough to see the river 80 feet below. Frayed cables and weathered wood go unrepaired for months at a time. New Zealand's Department of Conservation rates this trail as advanced and warns that only experienced hikers should attempt it in good conditions. But conditions here change in minutes. Clear sky becomes sideways rain before you reach the next bridge. The rivers below flash flood during rainfall. A crossing that measured ankle deep at breakfast becomes a chest-high torrent by lunch. Hikers get trapped on the wrong side, with no shelter and 0 cell service. Emergency calls cannot be made from most locations on the track. Local farming families use parts of this trail because no road connects their land to the nearest town. Their children walk across these same bridges to reach school. What tourists attempt for a thrill, these families navigate out of pure necessity, year after year, in every season. Walking one of these bridges, you feel the cables hum under your grip. The planks shift sideways beneath your weight. Wind pushes against your chest. You stare straight ahead, because looking down shows you the exact distance you would fall and the exact rocks waiting at the bottom. The sound of the river rises through the gaps in the wood like a voice you cannot quite understand. The trail stays open because no one has built anything to replace it. And across the ocean, a mountain in Southeast Asia kills people not with bridges, but with stone so smooth it turns into a skating rink the moment it rains. A like on this video tells the algorithm that real stories about real places deserve to be seen by more people. Mount Kinabalu, Malaysia. The granite slabs near the summit of this 13,435-foot peak are polished so smooth by centuries of wind and rain that wet boot rubber slides across them like a hockey puck on ice. Mount Kinabalu, in Malaysian Borneo, forces climbers up fixed ropes on these slabs in total darkness because the summit push begins hours before dawn. Rain at this altitude is not a possibility, it is a certainty. When water hits the granite, the surface becomes frictionless at steep angles. Climbers grip wet ropes with numb fingers while headlamp beams bounce off sheets of running water. One slip sends your body skating downhill across open rock with nothing to grab. In June 2015, a magnitude 5.9 earthquake struck the mountain during peak climbing hours. Massive rock slides swept across the upper slopes. 6 climbers died. Hundreds were stranded above the tree line as the trail crumbled beneath them. Rescue operations lasted days. The mountain is sacred to the Kadazan Dusun people of Sabah, who believe their ancestors' spirits rest at the summit. This spiritual pull draws thousands of climbers every year, most of whom have never attempted anything at this altitude. Altitude sickness sets in around 10,000 feet, bringing nausea, confusion, and the kind of impaired judgment that leads to fatal missteps on slick rock. The descent is more dangerous than the climb. Exhausted legs give out on the same polished stone that challenged fresh muscles hours earlier. Malaysian rescue teams conduct evacuations from Kinabalu every single month of the year. From the upper slopes, the Borneo rainforest stretches to the horizon in every direction. The beauty is staggering. But the rock beneath your boots does not care about the view. It only cares about friction. And when the rain starts, there is none. Drop a comment if you have ever attempted a summit push in complete darkness. That experience puts you in rare company, and this community respects it. Kokoda Track, Papua New Guinea. A jungle trail where the temperature hits 95 degrees, the humidity locks at 100%, and your sweat refuses to evaporate. That is the Kokoda Track's way of saying, you are not welcome here. This 60-mile route through Papua New Guinea's Owen Stanley Range gains over 15,000 feet of total elevation across mud-soaked ridges, river crossings, and mountain passes buried under tropical canopy. Long sections of the trail are not trail at all. They are churned mud, angled at 40 degrees, where every step either slides backward or punches through a thin crust into knee-deep muck. Hikers carry 30 to 40 pounds through air so thick with moisture that breathing feels like sucking through a wet towel. Core body temperature climbs without relief because the body's cooling system has nothing to work with. Hikers die here from heat exhaustion, cardiac events triggered by extreme exertion, and tropical diseases, including malaria. Medical evacuation can take 2 to 3 days because helicopter landing zones barely exist under the dense canopy. Several hikers have died waiting for rescue that could not reach them in time. The track follows the route of a World War II battle between Australian and Japanese forces in 1942. Over 600 Australian soldiers and thousands of Japanese soldiers died fighting along this same path. Today, hikers walk past rusted weapons, overgrown foxholes, and memorial plaques nailed to trees deep in the jungle. Venomous death adders and taipans live in the undergrowth along the trail. Spiders the size of dinner plates spin webs across the path at face height. You hear insects constantly, a wall of sound so dense it becomes physical pressure against your ears. Your skin never dries. Your pack straps dig into shoulders slick with sweat that has nowhere to go. And the next ridge is always steeper than the one you just survived. But deeper into Asia, a gorge so vast that the river at its floor looks like thread hides a trail where the mountain itself is trying to collapse on top of you. If you know someone who hikes in remote jungle terrain, share this video. The information in it could genuinely change a decision they make. Tiger Leaping Gorge High Trail, China. Why does a trail that buries itself under tons of rock every few months remain open to hikers? The answer is the same reason it has existed for centuries. Because families on either side of Tiger Leaping Gorge have no other way to reach each other. The high trail clings to cliff faces above the Jinsha River in China's Yunnan province. The gorge drops 6,000 feet from the path to the water below. In places, the trail narrows to 12 inches with nothing between your shoulder and a straight fall to white water that looks like thread from this height. Landslides bury sections of this trail regularly, Entire portions of the path vanish overnight under rock and mud. Local villagers maintain parts of the route with shovels and hand tools, but many sections receive no maintenance at all. The rock above is fractured and loose. Stones break free from the cliff face without warning and fall directly onto the trail. 4 to 6 hikers die here every year from falls or rock slides. Chinese authorities do not publish official statistics, but local guides track the deaths quietly among themselves. Flash flooding in the gorge strands hikers on the wrong side of washed-out bridges, sometimes for days. Children in the villages connected by this trail walk to school on sections where one stumble means a fall measured in thousands of feet. Every few steps, your boot sends a small rock skittering off the edge into silence. The sound it makes when it finally hits something is the sound of the distance you would fall. This gorge has been swallowing people since before written records existed. And further along the same mountain range, wooden planks nailed into a vertical cliff nearly 1,000 years ago still carry pilgrims to a temple in the clouds, and still carry some of them to their deaths. Content this thoroughly researched takes real like a chip. Know what conscription is the single strongest signal that this work matters. Mount Huashan Plank Walk, China. 12-inch wooden planks nailed into a vertical cliff face are all that separate your body from a 7,000-foot drop to the valley floor. Mount Huashan's Plank Walk in central China is not a hiking trail. It is a narrow shelf of weathered wood bolted directly into granite with a single rusted chain as your only handhold. The planks are barely wide enough for one boot placed sideways. Your other foot hovers over nothing. The chain, anchored by iron spikes driven into rock centuries ago, sways when the wind picks up. And the wind always picks up. Weather along the cliff changes in minutes, turning dry wood into a surface as slick as soap. China does not release official death statistics for this trail, but local sources estimate more than 100 fatalities per year. Most victims skip the optional harness system at the base because it costs extra. That decision saves them a few dollars and costs them everything. The trail exists because it leads to a Taoist temple built during the Song Dynasty over 700 years ago.
Thousands of visitors still make the climb every year, pressing their bodies flat against cold stone while their fingers cramp around a chain that has not been replaced in decades. Standing at the start, you hear the metal links groan under the weight of the person ahead. You feel the plank flex beneath your boot. You look down once. You do not look down again. Rescue from this wall is nearly impossible. Helicopters cannot hover close enough. Recovery teams must climb the same planks to reach a fallen hiker. People still line up every morning because faith pulls harder than gravity warns. But across the Indonesian archipelago, an active volcano offers a trail where the ground beneath your feet is the thing trying to kill you. If a trail with an estimated 100 deaths per year can stay open, consider what that says about every trail still ahead in this video. Mount Rinjani, Indonesia. Picture a slope made entirely of loose volcanic gravel, tilted at a steep angle, in total darkness. Now, picture yourself climbing it at 2 a.m., while every step you take slides half a step backward. That is the summit push on Mount Rinjani, an active volcano on the Indonesian island of Lombok that rises 12,224 feet above the sea. The volcanic rock is sharp-edged and unstable. Handholds crumble when weight is applied. Climbers scramble upward in darkness with headlamps illuminating nothing but shifting gravel and the boots of the person ahead. The summit push starts before dawn to avoid the afternoon storms that bring lightning to the exposed peak.
Several hikers have died from falls on the scree slope and from lightning strikes on the summit ridge. In 2018, a magnitude 6.9 earthquake hit Lombok, while hundreds of hikers were on the mountain. The quake triggered landslides that blocked the trail and killed several guides. Hikers were stranded for days above the tree line, with limited water and no way down. The trail circles a massive crater lake called Segara Anak, which sits 2,000 feet below the rim inside the volcano. Sections of the path are carved into steep crater walls prone to collapse. Hot springs along the lake edge remind you that the volcano last erupted in 2010 and remains very much alive. Indonesian rescue operations are severely limited in this remote region. Evacuation can take days, even in good weather. The nearest medical facility is a boat ride and a drive away from the trailhead. Standing on the rim at dawn, you watch sulfur clouds rise from vents in the crater floor, while the lake glows turquoise below. The beauty almost makes you forget you are standing on a bomb. Almost. Now the script crosses into the southern hemisphere, where New Zealand's mountains hide a trail so exposed that rescue helicopters cannot fly in the weather that makes it deadly. If you are still here, 6 entries deep, you already understand what this channel does differently. Subscribing makes sure the next one reaches you. Cascade Saddle, New Zealand. The last 3 miles of Cascade Saddle have no marked trail. No cairns, no signs, no painted blazes. The mountain gives you rock, wind, and the responsibility of finding your own way across it. This 6-mile route through New Zealand's southern Alps sends hikers across a glacier-fed river that changes depth daily. Then up loose scree slopes where rocks slide out from under your boots without warning. 6 experienced hikers have died on this trail since 2010. Every single one knew what they were doing. The saddle sits at 5,900 feet with full exposure to winds that regularly exceed 60 miles per hour. Hypothermia kills quickly when wet clothing meets mountain wind at that altitude, and clothing gets wet fast here. Weather changes so dramatically that hikers start under blue sky and finish in blizzard conditions within the same afternoon. The glacier-fed river crossing at the start has no bridge. You wade in and hope the current stays manageable. Some days it does. Some days it does not. The scree slopes above the river are fields of loose, broken rock at steep angles. Each step triggers small slides. Larger slides have carried hikers off the slope entirely. There's nothing to grab. The rocks are too small to anchor your hands and too loose to trust your feet. Rescue helicopters cannot fly in the weather that creates the worst conditions on this saddle. Injured hikers have spent entire nights exposed on the ridge, waiting for a break in the clouds that sometimes does not come until the next day. Your eyes water from the wind before you reach the top. The sound is constant, a deep howl that drowns out your own breathing. You are completely alone with stone, ice, and wind that could kill you before anyone knows you are in trouble. The script now moves to the United States, where trails inside national parks carry death tolls that would shut down any road or building in the country. The Maze, Canyonlands National Park, USA.
Imagine dropping into a canyon system the size of Manhattan, where every wall, every ridge, and every corridor looks identical to the last, and your GPS shows no signal. The maze in Utah's Canyonlands is the most remote section of any national park in the lower 48 states. 30 square miles of sandstone canyons with no trail markers, no cell service, and no water sources. Summer temperatures hit 110 degrees in the canyon bottoms. The nearest hospital sits 4 hours by car from the closest access road, which itself requires a high-clearance vehicle and hours of driving on unpaved terrain. If something goes wrong here, help is not coming quickly. Search and rescue teams respond to multiple emergencies in the maze every year. Finding lost hikers takes days because the terrain defeats systematic searching. Every canyon looks like the last one. Every ridge reveals another identical canyon below. Experienced desert hikers with decades of backcountry navigation have become completely lost within hours of entering. Dehydration becomes severe within 24 hours in this heat. The body loses water faster than the brain recognizes thirst. By the time a lost hiker realizes how much trouble they are in, their judgment is already compromised by the early stages of heat illness. Park rangers require registration before entering and demand hikers carry a minimum of 1 gallon of water per person per day. Most hikers cannot carry enough water for the time they actually need. The math does not work, and the desert does not negotiate. By standing at the rim before descending, you see canyons spreading below like a cracked maze with no visible pattern. The silence is absolute.
No birds, no wind, just heat rising in visible waves from stone that has been baking since dawn. People die here not from falling, but from walking. Walking in circles, under a sun that takes everything and gives nothing back. But less than a day's drive east, a trail in New York State proves that you do not need a desert to kill an experienced hiker. If this kind of depth is what you seek out, you are already part of a community that values substance over spectacle. Subscribing makes that official. Devil's Path, Catskill Mountains, USA. 17,000 feet of total elevation change across 25 miles. Sounds like a hard hike, until you learn that every foot of it comes in near vertical bursts between 6 mountain peaks. Devil's Path, in New York's Catskill Mountains, earned its name from the brutal reality that waits for anyone who underestimates it. The trail crosses 6 summits, connected by steep ravines, requiring hand-over-hand scrambling up loose rock faces. Exposed roots, wet stone, and sheer drop-offs make falls common. 8 hikers have died on this trail in the past 2 decades. Many more have been carried out with broken bones and head injuries. Cell service does not exist on Devil's Path. If you break an ankle in the bottom of a ravine between peaks, you are waiting for someone to physically find you, or for someone back home to notice you have not returned. Many sections require pulling yourself up vertical rock using tree roots while wearing a full pack. The roots are slippery when wet. They are always wet. Temperatures at higher elevations can drop 30 degrees within an hour. A hiker who started sweating in summer heat at the trailhead can be shivering in near hypothermic conditions on the next summit. The weather does not announce these shifts. They simply happen. The path was never engineered for safety. It follows the natural terrain between peaks, which means the trail does whatever the mountain does. Straight up, straight down. Over boulders taller than a person, through gaps too narrow for a loaded pack. You hear your own breathing louder than anything else on Devil's Path.
The forest is dense and close. The canopy blocks the sky. Directions lose meaning. Up and down are the only two that matter, and neither one is easy. Most dangerous trails threaten you with what you can see. The next one threatens you with what you cannot. The invisible killer hiding inside a wide, well-maintained path that looks perfectly safe. If you have hiked the Northeast and thought you had seen its toughest trails, drop a comment. The people in this audience who have stood on Devil's Path will set the record straight. Bright Angel Trail to Plateau Point, Grand Canyon, USA. 12 people die on this trail every year on average, and most of them never fall off anything. The path from Bright Angel Trailhead to Plateau Point drops 3,000 feet into the Grand Canyon on a wide, well-maintained trail with no technical sections. It looks safe. It looks inviting. That appearance is the trap. Over 250 people require rescue from this trail every single year. The primary killer is not gravity, it is heat. Summer temperatures in the inner canyon exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit. The trail offers no shade.
The canyon walls radiate stored heat from every direction, creating an oven effect that multiplies the air temperature against your body. Hikers walk downhill for hours, feeling strong and confident. The descent is easy. The views are spectacular. Then they turn around and face a 3,000-foot climb back out in the hottest part of the day. The trail that felt effortless going down becomes an endurance test going up. Healthy adults in their 20s and 30s collapse on this climb every summer. Park rangers have a saying, going down is optional, coming up is mandatory. Dehydration, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke kill faster than most people understand. The body's cooling system fails, core temperature rises, organ damage begins before the hiker realizes they are in serious trouble. Helicopter rescues happen multiple times per week during summer months. The Colorado River sits another 1,000 feet below Plateau Point, with no safe way down. Hikers who push past exhaustion have nowhere to go but backward, through the same heat that broke them. The air hits your face like an open furnace door the moment you drop below the rim. The sweat on your arms evaporates before you can feel it. The stone beneath your boots holds yesterday's heat and today's sun simultaneously. This trail kills people who do everything right except one thing. They underestimate the walk back up. That number, 250 rescues per year on a single trail, represents 250 families who got a phone call they were not expecting. If that fact hits you the way it should, a like is the smallest way to say this kind of truth matters. Half Dome Cables, Yosemite, USA. Take the steepest playground slide you have ever seen and tilt it to 45 degrees. Now make it 400 feet long, carve it out of polished granite, and bolt 2 metal cables into it as your only way up. That is Half Dome in Yosemite National Park, where over 60 people have died since 1919. Hikers pull themselves upward using only arm strength, while their boots search for traction on stone that has been smoothed by glaciers over millennia. When afternoon rain arrives, and it arrives often in Sierra Nevada summers, the granite transforms into something closer to greased glass. Lightning strikes the exposed dome regularly, and climbers clinging to metal cables become conductors. The National Park Service now requires permits after years of multiple fatal falls each summer. Most deaths happen during afternoon thunderstorms when hikers who started late get caught on the dome with no shelter and no fast way down. The cables are removed during winter, but people still attempt the bare rock climb and fall to their deaths in the off-season. Park rangers recover bodies from the base of Half Dome several times per year. The falls are not survivable. The granite face offers nothing to slow a sliding body over 400 feet of smooth stone. Standing at the base of the cables, you tilt your head back and see the rock stretching upward at an angle that looks climbable until you touch it. The granite is cool and impossibly smooth under your fingers. Your forearms burn within the first 50 feet. Your boots slip every third step. Behind you, a line of hikers waits, which means you cannot stop, you cannot rest, and you cannot go back down through the crowd. The permit system slowed the deaths.
It did not stop them.
And just a few hundred miles south, another national park icon sits on a rock fin so narrow that two people cannot stand side by side. And the drops on both sides are measured in thousands of feet. If you have stood at the base of those cables and made a decision either way, drop that story in the comments. This audience wants to hear it. Angel's Landing, Zion National Park, USA. The final half mile of Angel's Landing is a sandstone fin 5 feet wide at its summit, with 1,000-foot drops on both sides and chains as your only protection from the void. 13 people have fallen to their deaths from this section of trail in Zion National Park since 2000. The sandstone surface is smooth and naturally slippery. Add sweat from gripping chains in desert heat, and the rock becomes treacherous even on dry days. Most deaths occur when hikers try to pass each other on the narrow spine. Two people cannot stand side by side. One must press against the chain while the other squeezes past. Hands slip, balance shifts. The drop on either side does not forgive. Wind gusts through the canyon reach 40 miles per hour, strong enough to stagger a hiker on a ridge that offers no room to stagger. The National Park Service introduced a permit system to reduce crowding, but the trail still sees enough traffic to create dangerous bottlenecks on the narrowest sections. The chains are anchored into sandstone at intervals, but between anchors, the chain sags and sways. You grip it and feel it give under your weight. Your brain registers the movement, and your hands squeeze harder, which burns your forearms faster, which weakens your grip sooner. From the summit, Zion Canyon spreads below in layers of red and white stone carved by millions of years of water. The Virgin River looks like a silver thread, 1,500 feet down. Rangers have watched hikers freeze on the spine, unable to move forward or back, legs shaking, hands locked on the chain. Some are rescued, some are not. But raw height and narrow rock are only one way a trail can kill. The next entry involves a Colorado mountain where the death count stretches back over a century, and the route demands you walk through a gap in the ridge where wind screams past at speeds that can knock a grown adult off their feet. Like this video if you think national parks should make the real danger numbers more visible at every trailhead. That single opinion matters more than you think. Long's Peak Keyhole Route, Colorado, USA. Over 60 documented deaths since 1884 make Long's Peak the deadliest trail in Colorado. and the mountain adds to that number almost every year. The Keyhole route climbs to 14,259 feet, over 15 miles round trip, crossing the Narrows, a 300-foot section of narrow ledges with sheer drops into exposure that terrifies even seasoned mountaineers. The trough section funnels hikers through a steep gully filled with loose rock that gives way without warning. Every step dislodges stones that tumble toward hikers below. The scramble across the Narrows requires precise foot placement on ledges barely wider than a boot, with nothing but air on the outside edge. Most deaths come from falls, lightning strikes, and hypothermia when weather turns deadly above tree line. Summer thunderstorms develop by early afternoon, and climbers caught on exposed rock above 13,000 feet become targets for lightning that strikes these ridges regularly. Rocky Mountain Rescue responds to over 20 emergencies on Long's Peak every year. The route demands a pre-dawn start because summiting after noon means descending through storms. Many hikers ignore this rule. The death count reflects that choice repeated across generations. At 14,000 feet, your lungs work harder for less oxygen. Your hands feel clumsy on cold rock. Your judgment frays at the edges just when you need it most. The Keyhole itself is a gap in the ridge where wind accelerates to a scream, and stepping through it commits you to everything that follows. Long's Peak does not forgive slow starts or poor decisions. Neither does the mountain ahead, where the margin between life and death is not measured in miles or hours, but in inches of rock beneath your palms. A trail on a different continent now enters the list, one so long and so remote that it takes weeks to complete, and the mountains along its length have claimed climbers for generations. Drakensberg Traverse, South Africa. A 140-mile trail along a mountain escarpment in southern Africa sits above 9,000 feet for nearly its entire length, and rescue teams cannot reach most of it by vehicle or helicopter. The Drakensberg Grand Traverse in South Africa follows the spine of the Drakensberg Mountains along the border with Lesotho. The route has no permanent shelters, no marked campsites, no reliable water sources on large sections of the ridge. Hikers who attempt the full traverse carry everything they need for 10 to 14 days across terrain where temperatures drop below freezing at night and climb above 90 degrees during the day. Lightning storms strike the exposed ridgeline with extreme frequency. The Drakensberg holds one of the highest lightning strike densities on Earth. Several hikers and climbers have died from exposure, falls, and lightning on this traverse. The basalt cliffs along the escarpment drop over 3,000 feet from the plateau edge. Sections of the trail run within feet of these edges, and fog can reduce visibility to less than 10 feet without warning. The mountains are sacred to the local Zulu and Basotho peoples, who call the range Ukalamba, the barrier of spears. Sand rock art thousands of years old decorates caves along the route, evidence that humans have traveled and died in these mountains since long before recorded history. If a hiker is injured on the high plateau, evacuation requires a ground team that can take 2 days or more to reach the location. Radio communication is unreliable. Cell coverage does not exist. The hiker waits alone at altitude with whatever supplies they carried on their back. At dawn on the escarpment edge, the valleys below fill with cloud that looks solid enough to walk on. The silence is enormous. The wind carries the smell of wet grass and cold stone. Your legs ache from days of walking, and your pack feels heavier with every mile.
but the ridge ahead stretches on and on with no sign of ending. The Drakensberg does not kill with a single dramatic moment. It kills slowly, with distance, exposure, and the quiet mathematics of a human body running out of what it needs. Most channels will never cover a trail like this because it lacks the viral name recognition of a national park. If you value depth over popularity, this is the channel that delivers it. El Caminito del Rey, Spain. 5 people fell to their deaths from a crumbling concrete walkway pinned to a cliff face 300 feet above a gorge before Spain finally shut El Caminito del Rey down in the year 2000. The original path, built in 1905 to service a hydroelectric plant in southern Spain, had deteriorated to the point where entire sections were missing. Only rusted support beams remained, and thrill seekers walked those beams anyway. The gorge below is floored with jagged limestone that would kill on impact from a fraction of that height. Strong winds funnel through the narrow gorge and hit the walkway at unpredictable angles. Even the rebuilt path, which reopened in 2015 after a €9 million renovation, hangs 300 feet above the river on a glass-floored walkway that sways perceptibly in gusts. The original path attracted illegal trespassers for years after the closure. Climbers and urban explorers crossed the missing sections using the exposed I-beams, balancing on rusted steel barely wider than a boot with no railing, no harness, and no net. Several more people died during the closure years, bringing the total death toll above a dozen. The walkway was originally called El Camino del Rey, the King's Little Path, because King Alfonso XIII walked it during the inauguration of a dam in 1921. The path he walked was already considered terrifying then. A century of neglect turned it into something far worse. On the rebuilt path, you look down through transparent floor panels at the gorge 300 feet below. The wind presses against your body, and the walkway shifts slightly under your feet. The old rusted beams of the original path are visible just below, bent and broken, the skeleton of the walkway that killed the people who trusted it. Spain rebuilt the path, but the gorge did not change. The wind did not change. The height did not change. And far across the Pacific, a Hawaiian trail hugs a coastline so violent that the cliffs themselves regularly collapse into the ocean with anyone standing on them. A like on this video takes 1 second and pushes this content to someone who needs to see it before they book a trip they are not ready for. Kalalau Trail, Kauai, Hawaii, USA. The cliffs along Hawaii's Napali coast are not stable. They are actively crumbling into the Pacific Ocean, and the Kalalau Trail runs along their edge for 11 miles with no guardrails, no fences, and no room for error. Since 2000, over a dozen hikers have died on this trail from falls, drowning at stream crossings, and being swept off the path by flash floods that funnel down the volcanic ridges with almost no warning. The trail narrows to less than 2 feet in several sections, carved into the face of red volcanic rock that crumbles at the touch. The ocean crashes against the base of the cliffs 300 feet below, sending salt spray upward that coats the rock surface and makes every step slippery. 5 major stream crossings on the route flash flood during rain. A stream that was a trickle in the morning becomes a waist-deep current by afternoon. Hawaii requires a permit to hike the full trail, but the permit system has not stopped the deaths. The danger is built into the geology. The volcanic rock of the Napali coast erodes rapidly, and chunks of trail have fallen into the ocean in recent years. Native Hawaiian communities historically used this coastline for fishing and agriculture. The Kalalau Valley at the trail's end was once home to a thriving settlement.
Today, the only way in is the trail or the ocean, and both can kill you. You hear the surf constantly from the trail, a deep, booming rhythm that vibrates through the rock under your feet. The wind carries salt and moisture that stings your eyes. When clouds roll in from the Pacific, and they roll in fast, visibility drops to almost nothing, and the narrow trail becomes a guessing game played at the edge of a 300-foot cliff. The most photographed coastline in Hawaii is also its deadliest hiking trail. And back on the mainland, one final Colorado peak waits, with a stretch of rock so narrow and so exposed that completing it takes 20 minutes of crawling across a blade of stone with 2,000-foot drops on each side. If someone you know is planning a trip to Kauai, share this video. This trail kills hikers who had no idea what they were walking into. Capitol Peak, Colorado, USA. A 100-foot section of ridge only 12 to 18 inches wide, with 2,000-foot drops on each side, makes Capitol Peak's knife edge one of the most terrifying stretches of rock in North America. 9 people have died on this mountain since 2000. Most fell during the descent, when altitude sickness and fatigue turned careful climbers into stumbling ones. The knife edge sits at 14,000 feet, where altitude thins the air to 60% of sea level oxygen. Your brain runs slower, your balance degrades, your reaction time stretches. These are not feelings. They are measurable, physiological facts that arrive whether you are aware of them or not. The rock along the knife edge is loose. Holds that look solid, break away under body weight. Climbers must commit fully to each move, because retreating across a crumbling ridge is more dangerous than pushing forward. Weather at this altitude shifts without announcement. Lightning storms materialize over the ridge in minutes, turning the exposed rock into the highest point in a miles-wide radius. Colorado Search and Rescue rates Capitol Peak as one of the most hazardous standard routes in the state. Standard does not mean safe. It means the route does not require technical climbing gear. It only requires your hands, your feet, your judgment, and complete acceptance that one small mistake means a fall you cannot survive. The rock beneath your palms is cold and gritty. The wind pushes against your side with the steady pressure of a hand trying to shove you off. You cannot look left, you cannot look right. You look at the next 18 inches of stone ahead and place your boot exactly where it needs to go, every single time. The knife edge is 100 feet long. At a crawl, it takes 20 minutes. Those 20 minutes contain more concentrated risk than most people encounter in a lifetime. Every trail on this list started as a path someone believed they could walk and come home from. Some of those people were right, some were not. The difference between the two groups was rarely skill or courage. It was respect for the mountain, for the weather, for the simple fact that nature does not grade on a curve.
If one place from this video stays in your mind tonight, one trail you cannot stop imagining yourself standing on, that is the one that taught you something about where your own limits live. Sit with that for a moment. Then
then come back for the next one. Explore Danger builds every video to earn that return.